Hello and welcome back to Loom. So, in the previous episode we made our way through the green glass city of Crystalgard and the fold of the Guild of Shepherds. Then we were captured by a dragon and now we find ourselves in the dragon's cave, so let's talk to her.
Have you no manners, lad? Stop staring at me.
Oh, was I staring? So sorry.
Oh, don't mind me, love. I get rather crotchety on an empty stomach.
Does that mean you're going to incinerate me then?
Incinerate you? Oh my, aren't you the foxy one? I haven't created any fire since my last mating season, and you don't want to know how many centuries ago that was. No, that's much too much heat for me these days.
You mean you can't breathe fire?
Can't? Let's just say I won't. Just between you and me, love, the stuff gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Okay, and we'll examine the gold.
Oh, that's quite a bit of gold you have there.
That? Oh, that's nothing compared to what it used to be. Piled floor to ceiling it was. Everyone said it was the most beautiful lair anywhere, and right they were too. Then one day, last spring it was, comes along this third-rate wizard who botched up everything. He tried to get the volcano to blow, but only shook up the place in a huge earthquake instead. Broke all my fancy glass, mind you, and made off with most of the gold, too. The only thing he left me was a gorgeous glass ball.
The glass ball that she's talking about is one of the scrying spheres from Crystalgard. Anyway, if we highlight this gold and then remember in the first episode when we learned the straw into gold draft, well, if we cast that backwards we can turn it into a pile of straw. So let's do that now.
Put it back the way you found it, now.
Okay, now the A note has been added to the distaff. We can cast drafts including that note, which includes the wake sleep draft we learned from the shepherd in the pasture. I did mention in the previous episode that that draft is optional and you don't need it to complete the game. That's true. There are two drafts you can spin on the dragon now to proceed. One is terror and the other is sleep. Both of them have the same effect, which is that she will breathe fire on the straw, but just because we've just learned the A note, I'm going to use sleep.
Sheep. Gold. Sheep. Eek! Fire! You haven't heard the last of me, you cheeky brat!
Sorry about that. Now we can go in this cave behind her. And it's dark, so of course we need to use the old night vision. There we go. Now we have this like maze section in the cave and it's pretty linear. I hope I can remember the way to go. But this is the other section. I mentioned there were two sections that involved like prolonged walking. One was Crystalgard and the other one is this. Where's he going? It is like, I think just a bit too long and pretty much pointless. I guess it does have a certain atmospheric quality, but even so, I hope I can remember the way, or else there's going to be a bit of trial and error. Okay, I think we're cool. If we go down here, then we should come to a new section in the maze. Yep, okay. We follow it this way, and I think we just go all the way to the left here. And that should be it.
Guess I won't be going back that way.
No, you won't. Bobbin's hilarious, like, Kaiser scream, which is reused several times. Now, it's kind of hard to see in the graphics, but this is like a shoreline, and over here is this big pool of water. If we examine the water,
My own reflection.
that's the reflection draft, which we will need to use later. And now if we use the emptying draft on this pool, we can empty the water out. And here is the missing scrying sphere from Crystal Guard. Like the other one, we can examine this 3 times to get different visions. Here we see the dragon's volcano erupting, which is a kind of a strange thing. It doesn't actually happen in the game, so it's like one of those visions which I think the fans kind of like to discuss it. It's speculated generally that it's either from cut content or a deleted scene from the game, or it's showing you a scene which happens during a cataclysmic event later on, but you don't actually revisit this place. It just shows you through the scrying sphere what's happening. Or it could possibly be from one of the cancelled sequels. And there we get a second chance to learn that mysterious swan-related draft that we saw in Crystal Guard. But we can't spin yet.
Bishop Mandible. What in the world is he up to?
Okay, we're done here, and now if I remember correctly, the way we proceed is just by walking around the back of this pillar. There we go. I remember playing this as a kid and being stuck on this section forever. And when I found out all you had to do to get out was go around the back of that pillar, I was like really pissed off. Again, it's the pixel hunting nature of Loom, where you're trying to find the tiny section of the screen that's interactive. Here there's this spiral staircase. We can't go down it because it just ends in a dead end, you see. But remember when we first left Loom Island, there was that cyclone which taught us the twisting draft, and then we untwisted the cyclone. If we do the same here, we cast untwist, we should be able to untwist these stairs. Lovely. Nice graphics there as well. One of the things I like about Loom is the sort of vignette nature. You can see really far into the distance here, and it just gives you like an idea about all the size of the world that you're not seeing. Uh-oh. There's the dragon. Still around. I feel like it's not the last we've seen of her. Alright, we're in a new section here. And there is this little guy sleeping here. This is if you remember when we met Fleece, I said that there were supposed to be originally 3 playable characters, 1 for each game in the planned trilogy. The third character was supposed to be Fleece. This is the second one, Rusty Nailbender, which is an amazing name. He's from the Guild of Blacksmiths, and he appears to be asleep, so let's talk to him now.
He's fast asleep.
Okay, and we have the waking draft, so we'll use that.
Hello there. What's that? Your music woke me up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, not to worry. I'm Rusty Nailbender.
I'm Bobbin Threadbare, of the Weavers.
Weavers, eh? Our folk are blacksmiths. I'm supposed to be getting firewood for the master, but this plateau's been picked cleaner than a new blade. Come over here. That's us down there. The forge. That's what we call it. I've heard you weavers don't get out much. What's your business here?
I've been looking for a flock of swans.
Swans? No. No swans around here. Oh, say, all this talk has made me sleepy. A real pleasure, though. Oh, let me know if you find your swans. Oh.
He has a real problem with sleeping. I think he needs some coffee or something. Anyway, if we go down to the forge, here we go. Let's go inside.
It's locked.
Oh, who are you?
Just me, a friendly stranger.
This is a private guild, my strange young friend. The gate only opens for members.
There we go. So another very thinly veiled clue there about what we have to do next. Now, the second game in the proposed trilogy was going to be The Forge. Forge. And it was starring Rusty. And the lead into the plot of that game will happen at the end of this one. So we'll discuss that then. What we need to do to get inside is cast the reflection spell that we learned in the cave on Rusty here, and we'll see what happens. There we go. You see, what's happened is Rusty and Bobbin's reflections have been appearances have been reflected, and so we now have taken the form of Rusty. And Rusty, if you look at the icon at the bottom right here, you'll see he's just wearing Bobbin's cloak. He hasn't actually fully transformed. But if we wake him up, I think he might have something to say about it, so let's try that.
Oh, nice trick, Weaver. Me own mum wouldn't know the difference. Soft robes, though. Just the thing for sleeping in. Do you mind, then?
Yeah, definite problem there. I think he may have some sort of sleep disorder or something. Sorry about that. That or he, likes Valium or something.
Hello, young nailbender. About time you were coming home. Stoke's been looking for you, and he ain't real happy. You better get in there right now.
I will do. Okay, this section in the forge. Looks super cool. As you can see, there's all these like blacksmiths here, like hammering their anvils, really atmospheric. All it is actually is just a linear path through this scene. So again, it's like Loom was an early attempt at some sort of, interactive, like visual novel or something like that. Well, those games are quite common nowadays, but this was like, it was quite daring in its day, because a lot of it is just building atmosphere and not actually, solving puzzles and stuff, which is cool. It's like quite unique. Anyway, if we walk through here, we should find Rusty's mentor. Here he is.
Well, it's about time, you lazy idiot. I sent you out 4 hours ago for firewood, and you bring me back one scrawny stick. If your father weren't the foreman, I'd toss you in the furnace. You're just like the ewes downstairs with the bishop right now. If that fire goes out and the cleric's swords don't get done...
I'm sorry, I had a bit of trouble.
Perhaps you'd like to offer your confessions to the bishop in person. I'd be happy to arrange it. Now give me that stick. I'm done dealing with the likes of you, Nailbender. I'll be back, and you'd better hope the furnace doesn't go out.
What a mess. I can't do anything without my distaff.
Okay. And so we've lost the distaff and we are locked in a prison cell, which seems like a bit of an overreaction on the part of the blacksmith. All he did was not bring back enough wood, but never mind. All we can do in here is just examine this straw anyway.
That straw looks awfully comfortable, though. Oh, it must have a sleep draft woven into it.
Imagine frightening a poor defenceless old thing like me. Caw. Well, I may not be much good with fire, love, but I still enjoy the taste of tender, firm young meat.
One blasted stick of wood left, curse that lad. 10,000 swords to forge, and the furnace is about as cold as my chances for promotion. I don't
No,
believe this.
poor
Real
Rusty.
nice of that Weaver kid. Just wait until his turn comes. I'll be waiting for him on the outside.
Oh dear, that means trouble. If Elder Atropos saw his staff treated so, he'd have something to say about it. You could be sure of that. Careful now, old bird. Let's not singe the feathers.
Right, okay. Pretty epic stuff there. So, poor old Rusty was eaten by the dragon and killed, and his ghost has survived, so it's not the last we'll be seeing of him. Then Hetchel appeared and saved the distaff from the furnace and returned it to us, which is extremely good because, of course, the very first draft that we learned in the entire game is open, and so we will cast that now. There we go. So what happens in the next section is kind of hard to explain while it's happening because it requires a bit of timing. So the conversation which we're about to hear will speak for itself, but all I'll say is what I'm going to do is there is a point in the next cutscene where a blacksmith holds up a sword, and when he does that, we have to cast the twisting draft onto it. I will do that without talking over the top, just so you know what's going to happen, and then I'll explain afterwards what actually went on here. So here we go.
The final blade is even now in the hands of our most skilled blade shaper, Your Excellency. How's it coming there, Edgewise?
I'm just putting the edge on the last sword, sir.
Good to hear it. No slacking off now. Let's get it finished.
You share with me a historic moment, Foreman. The forging of the 10,000th sword marks the end of our preparations. How much longer must I wait?
The steel will ring out its final defeat, sir. Not much longer now.
Very good then. Carry on.
Maybe I should stand a bit closer.
What evil is this? A witch's curse has twisted the final blade.
A curse, Edgewise? I think not. It would take more than a mere witch's curse to ruin my plans. You there! Could it be that this little prank is of your doing? Yes? Well then, I would be honored to have you as my guest at the cathedral. I know some other curses that may amuse you.
I'm getting really tired of this.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Bishop Mandible, trans-ultimate apostle of the anti-secular conclave of clerics.
I know. Am I expected to kneel?
Silence, you impudent punk.
This is my assistant, Cobb.
Charmed, I'm sure.
And you require no introduction. Your cloak and staff betray your origins. But I must say I'm surprised to find you here. It's been quite a long time since any weaver bothered to leave that dreary little rock you call home. Loom. So provincial. I can't help but wonder what impelled you to leave it now.
His Excellency asked you a question.
I know. I'm ignoring it.
Ah, recalcitrance. I see.
Shall I fetch the instruments of persuasion, Master?
Please forgive my assistant his eagerness. I fear Cobb is not very worldly. He does not understand the dangerous power of a weaver.
Dangerous? Your Reverence, him?
Quite dangerous indeed, my dear Cobb. In fact, he could burst this flimsy iron cage open with hardly a second thought.
That's impossible, most exalted one. I inspect the locks personally every fortnight.
Observe and learn then, for even now your prisoner plans his escape.
Right, okay. So cool, man. Really cool cutscene there. I've got to say, I do love Mandible's voice actor as well. Really good performance. Anyway, just a very quick explanation there. So what happened was that by casting Twist on the sword's blade, we twisted it up and ruined the sword. Mandible basically knew that Bobbin was there anyway. He wasn't effectively hidden. But it was just... it was just what we needed to do to get imprisoned and end up in the Cathedral of the Clerics, which looks badass, I'm sure you'll agree. So there we go. Oh, and of course, this is Cobb, who, if you have played The Secret of Monkey Island or seen my series on that, you will recognise Cobb. He appears as himself in the Scum Bar on Melee Island, as the sales rep for Loom. Of course, he has a crappy fake beard and the badge that says "Ask me about Loom." This is him. This is where he originates. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here. Next time we will, of course, cast open on this door. I think you all know that that's what we need to do to proceed, but we will do that next time. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time for more Loom. Take care, and goodbye.